Welcome to the very first podcast. This is your host, Brandon Salgado, or as a lot of people know, the boy. Do not know the name of this episode yet, or the name of this podcast. I think I named it The Boy, and I think that's how the name's going to be. So, a lot to talk about today. Actually, there's not enough. I'm going to be here for half an hour. So, whoever's listening to this, thank you, and your time will not go wasted. What am I talking about? So, on today's show, there's lots of things on my mind as of late, especially in what happened last week in Astroworld. So, what I've been reading or what I've been listening to, a bunch of people have been saying that this Astroworld Fest was a demonic ritual. Apparently, Mr. Travis Scott is now a demonic god and whatnot, and so apparently at the show, he called it a dystopia. Now, if you search up the definition of dystopia means a disruptive world, almost like hell. And so Mr. Travis Scott held a music festival. 8 people died. Now 9 have just died. One of them just died in the hospital. And so from what I could recollect and from what I could remember from what I read, now this is all from my roommate Fernando. I didn't read anything, but this is from my roommate Fernando, and I'm just literally I guess re-saying what he said. 8 people died. 1 died in the hospital, so 9 died in total. Apparently, Mr. Travis Scott. Well, not apparently. I mean, there's video. You see it. We've seen it. Mr. Travis Scott knew what was going on, and me myself, I have been to a Travis Scott concert before, and he says, "Fuck that, Mamacita." And he keeps on playing his music, his thing, and people are calling for help. And I don't know. Apparently, he did this on purpose. And so another thing is that he was wearing a Pearl Jam shirt. Pearl Jam had a concert in the 2000s. 9 people died as well. 8 died in the concert. 1 died at the hospital. Also, in the Astroworld Festival, cell service wasn't being able to use. Apparently, one of the workers there was told by management, "Hey, call your loved ones because once the concert starts, there's no cell service." So that's from what I could remember. A lot of shit's going on, man. Now, I'm the type of guy. It's like, well, I mean, it's not Travis's fault. He shouldn't be getting canceled, blah, blah, blah. But after getting all this information, it's kind of hard to not believe that he didn't do it on purpose. Is he really part of the Illuminati? Find out in this episode of The Boy. This is transitions. This is as low budget as it gets. What's up, guys? This episode is brought to you by Skillshare. Now, Skillshare is... no, it's not. I'm just kidding. It's not sponsored by Skillshare. It's actually sponsored by Honey. Now, Honey, have you ever been... No, I'm just kidding. But this is just goes to show, yo, sponsors, I can sponsor you. I'll help you out as long as you know. Honestly, if I had sponsorships, it would be something that I would actually use. Like baby wipes. The other day, I was actually wiping my buttocks, and it was pretty dry. I had a fat, humongous... how can I put this? I had a day where I ate a lot of junk food. Well, I was in Texas is what I'm really saying. And as I'm sure you know, everything's bigger in Texas. And so I was eating a lot there because it was also on vacation. I actually went this past weekend to Austin to watch Tame Impala live. It's right behind me. It's one of their albums. And yeah, I go to Texas. Texas has a lot of food, and so I went. And I guess what I'm trying to say is, if there's any baby wipe companies out there, I'd be more than happy to sponsor you guys, as long as you got a good product. I'll be more than happy. So, a little practice. This episode is brought to you by Baby Wipes. Have you ever wanted to take a dump and for some reason you just keep on wiping and it just keeps on staying? That stain just stays there, and it's kind of dry. I've been there before too. Now, what I love about X Baby Wipes is that not only can I let go of my excess body dump with these, I get to sleep better at night knowing I have X Baby Wipes waiting for me at the end of the day. So if you use code THEBOY, you'll be able to get 100% off your next purchase. Man, I'm talking a lot of crap. So anyways, welcome to the Boy Show. That was a good little spiel. I've been wanting to start this podcast for a little while now. It's been a long time coming. This is as low budget as it gets, so it's only up from here. Thank you guys for listening or half listening. Behind me is the decor I have of this place. You see my deodorant right here on the top right. That I use Dove. That's like a little DJ mix thing. Those are my keys. Those are the hats I've worn. I got that when I went to New York. I got that when I went to the Grand Canyon. I got that when I went to Zion. This one right behind me is like the Marlins hat. Right over there in the corner, as you could see, is Mr. Travis Scott's Highest in the Room CD. Now, don't get me canceled. Please. Please, I don't want to get canceled. I just got that as a gift. Behind me, as you see some bobbleheads, and that's a Tame Impala album. So, yeah. Speaking of, yesterday, actually, I went to the Dolphins game. It was a Thursday night game against the Baltimore Ravens, and we actually beat them. We upset the Baltimore Ravens. Unbelievable. I couldn't believe it myself. The score was 22-10. Tua Tagovailoa passed for, I forgot, and he scored a touchdown. Offensively, I think we were pretty garbage. We would get to the red zone, and nothing would happen until the very end. Defense played out of their minds. We kept the Ravens to 10 points. And I think that's pretty crazy because Lamar Jackson, former NFL MVP. I think a lot of teams are going to use this blueprint that we have now, have how to guard and how to beat the Ravens. So I was excited about that. Actually, the crowd really loved Tua. They were screaming for him and stuff. It was awesome to see, honestly. I think he gets a lot of definitely a lot of critique, more than he should, especially in the media, with the whole Watson trades and stuff like that. So it's awesome that he's kept his composure and he keeps on playing. Like, anybody could easily just, lose it, but he has kept his cool. He has said the right things when being asked how he felt. And so I can feel nothing but happy for that guy. That's my quarterback. I was actually going to talk about something that was that's right. It's 5:28 p.m. and it's already becoming sunset. Who invented daylight savings time? Why? It's been getting dark at 6. It's been pissing me off, It just throws me off completely. Like, I'm here exhausted, and I'm like, what time is it? It's like 7. I'm like, what the fuck? I enjoy the summer times, I get it. It's like how science works, but who invented daylight savings time? Well, what are we saving? What day are like somebody's just like, hey, by the way, we're going to go an hour back. And all of us are like, yeah, we're cool with that. Go ahead. Let's go 1 hour back. If that's the case, then I don't know what I was gonna go with that. Actually, I had a joke, but I couldn't think of one. Something else has been on my mind as of late, and it's actually been about what's been on my mind as of late is a lot of stuff. Um, Now, as you know, I'm 20 years old. I don't know if you knew that. Uh, I'm really in that time of my life, in that chapter of my life of where I don't know where to go from here. Now, a lot of us have those thoughts. We ask ourselves like, what's our purpose in life? I get told all the time, um, you're 20, you're young. Why worry about what to do or where you're going? You have nothing but time to find that out and just to enjoy your youth. And I agree. I think I want to enjoy my youth. I have no responsibilities. I've completely taken advantage of that, right? I've done my fair share of fun stuff, but I think like as a man or as a young man, I feel like I should already have like a blueprint of something I should follow. Now, I could go to school, and I don't. I don't go to school because really when I'm there, I feel like it's a waste of time. Now it's fine. It's totally fine if you are in school, if you're listening. More power to you. To those who are working full time or working both part time, school and part time, or full time school and part time job, like congrats to you. Like I respect that. I've been working myself, but I really haven't found that I guess you could say like passion. One of my passions is really like I guess talking to people. Yeah, I enjoy humans. You know, they they spark my interest. I don't want to be a psychologist either. Like what the fuck? I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I want. Does that kind of make sense? Like I know what I don't want, but I don't know what I want. And I guess I just gotta keep searching. I don't know how this turned that deep. I went from talking about Astroworld to like what I want to do in my life, but I feel like a lot of us need to hear that. I think nowadays, especially my generation, we get caught up in like social media and the superficial things, right? Like a lot of us, especially our generation, we suffer the most when it comes to like mental health. And now it's becoming more like publicized and more like spoken about, which is awesome. It's just that like we just like to compare ourselves to others. You have a pretty regular like mundane day, and then you go on social media, on Instagram, on Twitter, or anything like that, and you see somebody else really enjoying their life. But that's just half the picture. Like it's just a shiny armor, but you don't really know what's really going on inside. And so this 2021 2020 year, especially with the whole pandemic, we've had a lot of time to think, a lot of time to like to ourselves. So, which I think was awesome. Really, I think if the pandemic never happened, I'd be in a completely different place right now. And I'm happy for all of us are happy for where we're at right now. I think I feel like we really needed that time. I also feel like our generation is really gonna like stray away from, the 9 to 5, the office job. I don't know. I have a feeling like we're gonna be, I guess, an awakening. Maybe that might be too optimistic to think, but more jobs are becoming automated, and we've realized, I don't know, like we've realized our priorities, with time to think and stuff like that. I know for sure one of my priorities wouldn't be like a lot of our parents or grandparents, their generation, which is totally fine. Their priority number one was work, because coming from another country, second, third world country, you know, my parents were immigrants. They moved over here for a better opportunity and for a better life. And in order to do that, you have to really, get down, work, and put the, gritty stuff. And then like the family would probably come second or third. I feel like our generation is going to pretty much change that. I feel like a lot of our priorities, I feel like we're first, or our relationships come first. At least that's how I think. I don't know. It's a crazy world we live in. So, I guess what I was just trying to say is like, I think all of us are confused. It's okay if you are. It really is. We have nothing but time. Just don't compare yourself to others. I've learned that pretty much. Like, we used to compare ourselves to like our friends or our like relatives or our family. Now with like social, it's pretty much like has been extended. So now we're no longer do we compare ourselves to like our friends. We're comparing ourselves to people who are our age who have made it successful. You know, at least I've been there. So whatever you see on the socials or whatever you might hear, it's not like the true story, right? You never know what somebody's going through. We're really good at hiding that, I think. So, yeah. I read this book the other day called The Four Agreements. I don't know if you got a chance to read it before, but it's a great read. Didn't get to finish it. I had 10 pages left, but I'm just being honest. I don't want to be that guy. Like, I read that book, never really finished it. The Four Agreements were like, number one, your word has to be impeccable, meaning if you say something, you'll do it, or how you treat somebody later on would affect you. So if I told you I don't like you, that's gonna hurt me, because if I told you that I don't like you, that would affect like how you look at me, which would then affect how you treat me, which would then not like work out for me. So basically, your word has to be impeccable. Other agreements were like doing the best you could in whatever it is that you're doing. If you're a shoemaker or anything like that, you try your best. Third, you see, I didn't even fucking finish it, or like I did, but I read them. Now I can't think of it because it's been a couple of days now. So, I don't know. It's such a good book. Like it really like helped me out a lot. I'm just gonna be honest, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. Now I don't remember. So on to the next subject. I remember I mentioned earlier that I went to Austin a couple days ago. One of my favorite cities. Well, not really. I was in San Marcos, which is like half an hour away from Austin. Same shit. And I just love Texas, man. I love the whole like how Texas is like, oh, it's a gun carrying state. They're all like no government. They're all like free and whatnot. But there's also that balance of like, especially in Austin, where it's like very liberal, very it's like a blueberry in a red state. This is what Matthew McConaughey said. So that's what I liked about Austin, is that you get both of both worlds, which is kind of like Florida, I think, especially where we live in South Florida, where it's like very liberal down here, but it's very like, I guess, conservative as a whole. So you get both sides. I just loved Austin. I love the whole mountains, the trees and stuff. Especially in San Marcos. I don't know if you knew, but San Marcos actually has a preserved like river. A lot of people swim in it. I didn't swim in it, but it has like our own river. It's like a little college town, and I think it's really cool. I like the whole like aura and vibe of it. It reminds me of like another like favorite city of mine that I visited was Flagstaff, Arizona. Um, it's great. It has a bunch of trees. Um, you know how Arizona is like red rocks and stuff, and like desert looking. In Flagstaff, it's like a. It used to be like a train stop type of city. Like the train would stop there back in like the 18 early like 1900s and stuff like that, and it would just be kind of like a where they recargo it. I think where they they recargo the train and stuff. It was like a train stop. Is basically what I just said already. And it's like the whole little town is built around it, and there's like I believe like Arizona State I think is near it, or some universities near it. So it's very young, it has like that young atmosphere, and it's very hippie. It's like that like vibe of like you just gotta check it out. Flagstaff, I loved it. Which also San Marcos, then again has Texas State, very young like crowd, has that like liberal like that like young feeling. But since it's Texas, you have your other side as well. You're conservative, so I think it's pretty cool, like that vibe and stuff like that. I enjoyed it a lot. I ended up going to Austin to see them live, Tim and Paula. Awesome concert. Fucking I left me speechless. It's like one of those like events and one of those like experiences that you have in life that you're like, Jesus. It makes you really think. Not think, but like oh, this is what life is about. Like, this is like these experiences are good parts, because like life is like this. It's like wow. If I could show you, let me see if I could show you. Look, you're watching. Oh, by the way, this is my co-host Brandon. Brandon, thank you so much for joining us. Brandon, what do you think about the Astroworld events? Thank you. Um, if I could show you it, like, I guess this. Look at that shit. Can you see it? That's me. Well, I mean, obviously it's me. Um, Man, where's the other video? Is it that one? Or is it this one? I think it's this one. Or that's the one I already showed you. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. It was like it had like a light show, also a performance and like a light show at the same time. I think it was awesome. Um, it was crazy. I would recommend seeing them live at Coachella. They're actually coming up here in Okeechobee Fest. It's worth it, honestly. Brendan, actually, we went together. Um, it was a great concert, wasn't it? He's a man of many words. Essentially, I don't know where I'm gonna go with this podcast or with this show, but I think it's really helpful. I've been enjoying it, even though I've only been doing it for 23 minutes. Um, this is as low budget as it gets, but great nonetheless. Um, I guess I'll just end it with like I guess I'll end it on like enjoy what you do. Have a good like work life balance. Look forward to things. There's nothing like, looking forward to something that just brings me, at least that brings me happiness. Like, oh my God, I can't wait for this. Can't wait for that. Trick your mind, like, although you may be feeling stagnant in whatever it is that you're doing or wherever you're at, school and stuff like that, it's important to like get better every day, 1% better. For example, this podcast. Sure, it might not be all that. It might be pretty low budget, but I started it which is really important. You know, at 1%, it's better than it's better than it was yesterday. It's better than it was a couple hours ago that I never started it. So, yeah, I don't know what this show's gonna be. A self-help show or a sports show? I don't fucking know. It's gonna be both. Conspiracies? Maybe. Catch me and Brendan in our next show. I don't know when is our next show. Brendan, when are you mostly available? Awesome, Brendan. Thank you so much for your input. All right, guys. Before I go, I just wanna give a shout out to our sponsor, Skillshare. No, I'm just kidding. All right. I think that's pretty much it. I think we're done here. Let's go.